Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Thursday night. Time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Jason. How are you? And with me tonight, all the way from Florida, where we all know she doesn't have the best internet, it's my girl, Melissa. How are you, Melissa?
I'm doing good. Trying to make sure my internet holds out. Godspeed.
Yeah, I told her, I said, don't move too much. You turn into a blurry ghost. So just like sit still. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We're trying something new. I don't want to stop doing Thrifty Business. I love doing it. Love seeing everybody learn from it. But I wanted to try some new things this year. So the first thing that we are going to be doing is what we're calling our board meetings, kind of go along with the theme of thrifting, surfing and the beach that I've used throughout all my stuff. And each board meeting is going to be a like demographic of people. So it's going to be a group show. And we got a couple of our ideas coming up that Debbie and I are working on. So tonight for our first board meeting, we are featuring people from the LGBTQ community. Melissa is one of them. So she's my co-host this evening. So my goal too is always to have a co-host who's part of whatever the demographic is. So that's my goal. And so let's bring everyone in here who's going to be on the show tonight. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
All right. So we have Matt and Aaron, CJ, Sue, and David and Joshua. How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right. So if you know, I always try and match my rum and my mug with my guests. Now I have 6 guests tonight. So I'm like, okay. So I figured my wife was nice enough to help me out with this, as she always does. So Key West is a great spot to vacation and a very inclusive LGBTQ community down there. So here's some great Key West stuff. And since it's our board meeting, this will probably be the standard mug for these. It is my guy surfing out of the mug.
Awesome.
So there's my board meeting mug. What are you drinking, Melissa?
You know, I actually drank last night, so I'm not drinking tonight. I'm having this delicious sparkling ice. Yay, diet.
My fridge is full of those. And Dave and Joshua, what do you guys have?
In true gay fashion, we have Tito's and soda.
In rainbow mugs, of course. All right, I love it. Sue, what do you got?
I've got vodka cranberry.
All right. Where's your tiki mug, Sue?
I don't have one yet. I got to get one.
Oh, we got to find you one.
Yes.
How about you, CJ?
Gin and tonic.
Nice. And Matt, last but not least, with a few tiki mugs behind them, what do you guys got, Matt and Aaron? Oh,
we busted out a good china for you tonight.
So I'll give you a little history. So those mugs are made by Charles Phoenix, as you can see in the back. Charles is a friend of mine and Stacy's. He has built an entire career off of showing other people's vacation slides. An entire career. So the one that the two that are there, the one that's a big like a big bunch of pieces of pineapple, he calls it the Pudcano. He built this giant volcano out of pineapples. And it exploded red goo everywhere. And the other one is a meatloaf.
Yeah. Broad tiki martini.
So there you go. So yeah. You brought up big mug.
And he's got the rum and coke.
And what rum's you drinking?
Deadhead.
Nice. All right, cool. I like it. Let me put that away. All right. Uh-oh. Is there a truck backing up somewhere?
No, it's my wife using the pressure cooker.
Oh my God. You know, it's about the spouses of my co-hosts. When Debbie's co-hosting, Bill's like wrapping presents right next to her. I don't know what the heck. All right, so everyone that's a guest, sit back, relax, and chill out and enjoy the show. We'll be back in a little bit. All right, let me kick everyone to the green room, and let me get Melissa and I stuff up. So what's in the pressure cooker tonight?
Tacos, chicken tacos.
Nice. All right, I'm on my way over.
Because I'm really excited because I'm going to dork out for a moment right now. There's a new Star Trek show that started tonight that I have to watch as soon as this show is over. So I'm really excited. I'm going to have tacos with it.
I will say, because you brought that up, we had, oddly enough, on the day that we're having this great LGBTQ panel show, we actually had a little bit of bigotry in my group today, which, didn't last too long and got rid of. And I wanted to make a post where I just want to remind people that we are all inclusive in the Thrifting Board. I do not care what God you pray to. I do not care what side of the aisle you're on politically. I do not care who you love. And I'll even allow Trekkies in. That was just for you.
That's me. I'm okay with it.
That was just for you. So the fact that you brought it up,
I'm really excited. You have no idea. I'm going to dork out over it real hard here in about an hour.
Well, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I love stuff like that too. I dork out more hardcore on Star Wars. But like I said in my post, everyone's welcome in the Thrifting Board and no one gets to choose who's right and who's wrong. Everyone's right. Makes it easy. All right, let's talk about... There we go. Come on. It's like my equipment had to wake up. Let's talk about our scores of the week. This is the spot where we share with you all the cool stuff we sold. So these are bolos, things that you should be on the lookout for. Melissa is up first.
All right. So I've been doing a lot of clothes sales lately. Under Armour is a brand that I always look for. I bought this shirt for $2. And nice. This is a collaboration with The Rock. And so this is called Project Rock. And I believe that these items will sell for even a little bit more than Under Armour usually sells for. So I wanted to put that one out there so you would know to look for The Rock items. You can tell by the little bull symbol. Animal.
Yeah.
Horns.
Yes, that's the bull. That is the tattoo on his bicep. So... Yes. And they just announced they're going to do a Young Rock show a la Young Sheldon on CBS. So that'll debut, I think, in the fall.
This was a London Fog coat that I bought for $8 at an estate sale. Again, I've just been doing a lot of clothes lately. I had it on eBay for like 4 months, and I put it on Poshmark about a month ago, and it sold within a month.
Nice.
Got to do those other platforms. So I included this one because, again, it's Under Armour. But I did some retail arbitrage for this one. I bought this at Ross for, I believe, $8 and sold for $30 again within a month. So Under Armour is usually a fast mover for me. Usually I have some that don't move as fast, but you can usually tell it's not a more sought after clothing piece. So like I have a tank top that's Under Armour that I haven't moved for quite some time, but pants definitely move.
Very nice.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. Vintage. I love to sell vintage clothes. It's one of my favorite things. I like to keep them. If this fit me better, I would have kept this. Misty Valley Sports is a vintage clothing company, and you can tell, look at it. It was a track, I'm going to call it a track suit, and it was the jacket and the shorts, and the jacket top and the shorts, they don't match in size. So the top was, I believe, a large, and the bottoms were a medium, and it still sold for $38, and I paid $5 at a thrift store for it.
That's a tip we don't usually talk about too often, because not everybody's built what the clothing companies would call normal. So you might be a well-endowed top with a skinnier bottom, or vice versa, a voluptuous bottom with a skinny top. And so sometimes it's better off that, so don't be afraid. If you happen to find something that's not the same size, but goes together, don't be afraid of it.
And this company, I would say, is a bolo, just because, and you can tell it's vintage by the style of it, but they sell for, that's about average, the $40, and just the jackets, not even with the shorts, will sell for about that much as well. So it's definitely a good bolo brand to look for, but you'll know it when you see it.
Very nice. Now, I did share this as a little teaser on Sunday with my mom, or Monday actually. We did selling past your expiration date, but I wanted to make sure I shared it tonight. Paint by numbers are always something we've been telling you forever to pick up, to flip. And by weird coincidence, my mom sold a Jesus paid by number this week, and I sold this combo of Jesus and then a baby Jesus with Mary. These were framed, and if you've watched my dad cellophane things together, I put the two pictures kind of facing each other, so the frames were just touching. So I cellophaned together, some pool noodles in a box, and away it goes. And I think I paid $5 for the pair of them. Speaking of retail arbitrage, these are called Spirit jerseys. They're from Disneyland, and they hit the outlet store here in Vegas. So Stacy and my wife, ran over and picked up a whole bunch, and I've been selling them. So I sold 2 of the 6 of the Haunted Mansion. I also have the Tiki Room and Pirates of the Caribbean. So retail arbitrage does quite well. All right, don't be afraid of returns. I sold these sunglasses once, and some people are like, no returns for no reason. Now look, on clothing, you can put in measurements. I have a broken, crooked nose. So until I put glasses on my head, I don't know officially if they're going to fit right. And so someone got these glasses and he said, oh man, I love them, but they just don't fit my face right. I said, no problem, send them back. And he did. And I resold them, and I sold them for $2.49 more the second time. So see, it all works out. First time was $35. Second time was $37.49. And some of you, or most of you, saw this picture of my buddy Clark and I in these badass coats. Stacy and I went back and got them on half off day. I've already sold one. I plan on keeping one for fun and shenanigans whenever I need a full-length faux fur. And so the selling the one paid for both. So now I've got a fun prop that was free.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love those coats.
Yeah, that's like the before and after picture.
I had an ex who had a coat like that, and he wore it all the time.
Like, I don't really have a need for it, but you never know when a friend invites you to like a pimp and hoe party or something like that. I'm like, all right, now I got the full-on jacket for it. All right, that was our regular scores of the week. Now it's time for our CD and cassette scores of the week. And man, I can't wait to share this week because eBay was more robust than Amazon this week. Because a lot of people say, Jay, you're a lot of selling Amazon. I know you teach, but we can't sell on Amazon. And I always say, look, it works on eBay too. It works just fine on eBay. But because I can sell on Amazon, it lets me list it a little bit quicker than on eBay. But I did sell Caddyshack used on cassette for $20. Cassette used. Let that sink in. And while that's sinking in, how about Snoop Dogg Doggy Style used for $50?
That's
and
amazing.
since it's sold in euros, it means it was bought directly on one of the European eBays. So it went over to Europe. So $50 and $20 for used cassettes.
That's amazing.
Now, we don't just talk flipping CDs, do we? We talk flipping cassettes. We talk flipping CDs. All right, now Melissa, this might not seem like a big score, $15, but it's a Hootie and the Blowfish Christmas CD from like 20 years ago.
Literally just before the show started, I sold a Hootie and the Blowfish vintage concert shirt or band shirt.
Nice.
Literally just sold it.
And I want to share
so
this
funny.
too, because this sold this week, and I hope you can realize we are nowhere near Christmas anymore, and Christmas is still selling. How about some Alvin and the Chipmunks for $28? I paid $3 for that CD. But wait, it gets better. How about something you don't even know what it is? I didn't know what it was, but it looked good at Sabres for $1.99. Was listed for 2 days, and it sold to the UK for $47. This didn't have.
where else did they get it?
Yeah, I mean, this didn't have a barcode. It didn't scan on Amazon. So, but it was for $1.99. I'm like, okay, I know Buddy Guy, I know George Benson, so I know these people. So I'm just gonna take a stab at it. Boom, 2 days later, $47. But that wasn't even my best one. How about Sergio Mendes in Brazil '66 for $50? And I'd like to thank my lovely wife for taking all these pictures this week. She took her first round of CD pictures. I want to thank her for the help. She had a little procedure today, and she's sore and sitting on the couch. So, hi, honey.
Did she hate taking the pictures?
She got frustrated because she couldn't get the angle just right. You know, there's an art to taking pictures of CDs because you see yourself in the reflection. And so I'm pretty good at it because I've done it for 20 years. You've got to find that angle where you don't see you don't see the ceiling fan, you just see the CD. And so I could see she was getting a little frustrated because I'm like, I see you in the CD. But she finally got it. So yeah. So head on over to flippincds.com or flippingcassettes.com. Pick up my webinar if you haven't yet. It's not really expensive. You find one good item, it'll have paid for your webinar, and then the rest is free. The cassette one's about 2 hours, and the CD one is 2.5 hours. But not everything is a winner. These are duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. Now, I would think all these racing type jerseys sell well, so why was this one a dud?
I sold it for $6. That's why it's a dud.
But my question is, why did it sell for more?
I don't know. You know, I also thought that the jerseys would go well. Where I live is a huge bicyclist area, and I mean, you know, like the racing bicyclists. I mean, they're everywhere because we have a lot of hills. And so I come across these jerseys all the time, and I bought two to try to see, okay, you know, they're prominent here. That doesn't mean they're prominent everywhere. Let me see if I can flip them. And I've had them listed for 2 years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah. I've had them listed a long time. And I had them on eBay the whole time. I just put them on Poshmark. Nope. I actually had them on Poshmark a long time too. Someone gave me an offer for $6. Yes, take it. Take it out of my house. Take it far away from me. I have another one for sale. Anyone wants to have a racing jersey? It doesn't look like that one. But you can come to my Poshmark and buy it. This was a Ray Dunn bank, and I mean, I'm sure at this point everybody knows that Ray Dunn can be a valuable item. You know, you really just buy them at Ross, TJ Maxx, you know, the mugs. And although I did make some money on this, I paid $15 for it. I only made I made $19. So I made like $4. So it was definitely a dud. If I had been more patient and sat it out a longer time, perhaps I would have gotten more. But you know, it's a larger item, so it takes up space. It needed to go.
You gotta get it gone. All right, this didn't sell for $18.74. It actually sold for $17. Quacker Factory usually does quite well for me. I thought this was kind of a cute piece and just wasn't getting any nibbles or work. And finally, someone offered 17, so I took it. I only paid $3 or $4, so it wasn't a huge dud. Just I thought it'd be a little bit better. And I have no problems sharing with you when CDs that I've bought become a dud. Melissa, I sold this for $3. Ask me how much I paid for it.
Ooh, how much did you pay for it?
Yeah, $9. Yeah, that's how you not do it. You don't buy things for $9 and sell them for $3. So this was hot the day I bought it, or at least it was selling for more. And by the time someone got to me, it just so things happen. I've been doing CDs for 20 years in a month, and you know things change. People's tastes change, and so you got to be able to roll with it. But as you see, the $28 Chipmunks and the $50 Sergio Mendes, that makes up for this one very much so. All right, so now it's where in the world did our stuff go? If you are not selling internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. All right, Melissa didn't have any, but I did, and I wanted to share another CD sale for a couple reasons. It went to Milan, Italy, so that was kind of cool. But here's the weird, this one kind of just tickled me. So Neil Zaza is a heavy metal guitarist from Cleveland. He never hit it big, really anywhere. This is actually a live album from Cleveland. So I found it in LA. I brought it back to Las Vegas, and now it's headed to Italy. So, and again, Christmas CD sold this week. As you can see, I sold a couple this week. So you got to have the international turned on, and you got to keep listening, keep selling your Christmas stuff. All right, and then the last segment before we get to our guest is what is my? Oh, that's this one. Yeah. It's our online selling tips of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're selling on eBay, Etsy, Mercari, Craigslist, Ruby Lane, Instagram, Poshmark, blah 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 blah. Now you took it one step further. What is happening here?
So I had a garage sale this weekend. I've had garage sales before at other people's homes. I've never had a garage sale at my home, especially because I live kind of out in the middle of nowhere, as you can kind of see. I also don't have a garage, and I don't have a shed.
A garage sale is a garage.
Yes. So what I did, because I have a rather long driveway, I learned a lot from doing it this weekend. I made some money, but like a couple things that I learned. You see, I have a longer driveway, so I actually took all of my yard sale items to the end of the driveway. Anybody who goes to garage sales, everybody does that drive by and look thing. If I was all the way up by my house, they're not going to see me. So I brought all my stuff down to the end of the driveway so they would be able to see me, which worked. A couple other things I learned: signs. So I advertised. I asked Jason and the other lifeguards for advice on the garage sale, and they said on Wednesday that I needed to get my pictures up on Wednesday. So I did. I put my pictures and my listings up Wednesday. But on Craigslist, I found that was great, because then you come up on the yard sale treasure map app.
Yep.
But I found that I had listed it on Facebook early, and I found that most people didn't really, they may have looked at it, but they didn't retain it. So on Saturday, I did have people, obviously, but it was way less than I had expected from the advertising. I advertised again Saturday for Sunday, and I had more interest on, like, I had a lot more messages saying, hey, how much is this? How much is this? Can I just buy this? Can I come over? And so I found that putting the post early for Craigslist was probably really good, but maybe a little later on the Facebook. Surprisingly, though, I think because I live in the middle of nowhere, almost 100%, if not 100%, of the people I asked, did you see my ad or did you see the signs? They said the signs. So if you're going to have a yard sale, put out 1 million signs. I put out 15 signs and was told I should have put out more. Next time I have one, I'll put them everywhere. Put them everywhere. Also, the demographics of the people who are going to come is kind of important. So I live where the old people live, and that is important because in one of these pictures you'd see I have video games and video game related items. Now, mostly like at yard sales, that's something I look for, and they'll usually sell very quick. But there were no families coming. There were no younger people coming. It was mostly older people, and so that meant that they weren't buying the video game stuff, but they bought all the miscellaneous other stuff. It also meant that everything that I had on the ground on a tarp was a bad idea, because they can't, let's be honest, some of them can't bend down and get it. So keep in mind your demographics. Exactly. A lot of people can't. So on the second day, I noticed a lot of people wanted to look at the CDs, and they just kind of weren't, because I had them on the ground. So the second day I put them all up on boxes so that it was much easier for anybody who wanted to search through them to be able to. So they sold more that day. So, I learned a lot from this weekend.
Now, here's the $1 million question, because I know when you asked for advice, one of the admins told you this. Did you go back and watch the Secret Beach webinar, how I taught you how to have a good garage sale?
I watched some of it. I did not get to watch all of it. The other thing that I learned, I started on Wednesday What a terrible mistake. I should have started Monday or Sunday, the previous Sunday. Whatever amount of time you think you should give yourself more. Give yourself way more. I literally stayed up on Friday night because I didn't have it on Friday. I stayed up until 12:30 in the morning and woke up again at 3 a.m. so that I could get everything down to the end of the driveway. Give yourself way, way more time.
So Lori had a question. There we go. The items you had out there, were they still currently active on eBay, or were these all things that you had pulled already?
So most of them, actually almost all of them, are items that maybe I wouldn't have sold on eBay or have had them on eBay. So like those Coke bottles you saw in the pictures, I've had those on eBay. I've had those as lots. I've had those individually. But the collectible bottles that I had, they all sold. The ones that were, a little more that kind of old Coke bottles. So they're not on eBay. Most of this stuff isn't on eBay. A lot of it came from buying estate sales, big lots, auctions, where you're like, okay, I want that auction for that one item, but what am I going to do with all the other stuff? This is what I did with it. Also, I was driving, so I do Instacart for extra money. And so I was driving around neighborhoods and I started picking up the stuff that people had out for trash, stuff that I wouldn't be able to sell on eBay, but they all sold. Every item that I picked up sold at this yard sale. Stuff I got for free sold.
Nice.
So most of this is not on eBay now.
Good job. All right, but mine was on eBay. So my assistant, who is an amazing assistant, sometimes she's not aware of what's happening, like, pop culture stuff, and sometimes she's dead on it. We were unloading some stuff that I had thrifted a while back to kind of get it organized, and she pulled out this San Francisco 49ers shirt, and she goes, holy crap, you better get this up now. They're in the Super Bowl in a week and a half. I go, you're right. So I wanted to share a couple things. I put it up at the highest price that it's sold for in the last 2 months because they are going to the Super Bowl. Free priority shipping, because I wanted to make sure that would get to whoever wanted it in time for the Super Bowl. And plus, the Super Bowl's in Miami, so a warm locale. But if you look, although these shirts are not all exactly the same, they're all kind of the same vein. Way back here in November, it was under 30. Whoops, it was under $35, and then under 60, under 28, and then 50. But then as we get, as they start walking their way through the playoffs, boom, they're in the Super Bowl. I sold it for the most money. So it's all about timing sometimes, and then dumb luck that we're cleaning out stuff. And my assistant goes, oh my God, 49ers shirt, get it listed. So don't be afraid to ask for the most money, but think about things like, I'm going to offer free shipping, which I don't always do, but free priority, flat rate is only $6.75. Off it goes. That person will have it in 2 days. And it's going to Cali, near San Francisco, but they might be traveling to Miami. So they're going to have their shirt in plenty of time. All right, a couple quick commercials, and then we'll get on here. I'm insane, so I have like 7 shows in 4 days. All right, so obviously we're in Thrifty Business tonight. For those of you in the Secret Beach, tomorrow night we're starting our weekly new series, store review. So Becky Joyce will be the first beachcomber in the Secret Beach to get her store reviewed. We're going to do about a half-hour show going over her store and tips and tricks how to make it better. And then Saturday, again for the Secret Beach, it is the guest webinar of the month. Becky Joyce is going to teach us, Becky Dick's going to teach us all about intro to jewelry. That's at 8 p.m. on Saturday, immediately following at 9 p.m. because I'm so insane. I'm going to do 2 shows in a row. Stacey and I are going to do a thrift haul. We have thrifted in Anaheim, San Francisco, Atlanta, New York, and Vegas in the last 6 weeks. So we got a lot of cool stuff to share from all over the country. And then Sunday, Mom and I selling past your expiration date. We haven't really talked about Hawaiian dresses too much. We talk about Hawaiian shirts quite a bit, but we're going to talk about Hawaiian dresses, styles, brands, things you should look for. And then Monday in the Secret Beach is my webinar for the month, 20 for 20. Let's start the year out right. The 20 things you need to do in your business this month to get ready to have a successful new year. Yay. All right. Whew, I'm exhausted.
So when will you sleep?
Yeah, well, I hadn't even started my webinar yet.
So you're going to be staying up till 12:30 and waking up at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah. I got a lot of work to do. All right, let's get our guests in here because we've got a lot of fun stuff to share. So let's get our guests in here. Hey, everybody. I wish I could just hit one button and put everybody in all at once.
Hey, hello.
What's going on? Hey, Matt and Aaron, what do you got for sale behind you there in tiki mugs? What's going on there?
Nothing's for sale.
Oh, all right, I'll talk to Joshua and David. They're in their store. What's for sale?
Everything.
We went from to everything. All right. So thank you all for being part of our first board meeting. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I had this idea for a while. I tried to start it in October, but then just life got busy. And so thank you for those, because most of you are the ones who said, yeah, I'll do this. And I want to thank everyone for being on. So we're going to start with your scores and duds. And then we'll just kind of hear about your journey, how you got to where you're at. So let me get the new share screen going here. Ooh, look how tiny we are. We're tiny. All right. So CJ, let's start with you first. Is this granddaughter, CJ?
Nope, that's my niece.
Your niece. I love her glasses.
Yeah, she's special.
Those are awesome glasses.
Yeah, she's a pretty cool kid.
All right, so we'll get into like what you know, how you got into this and all that in a bit, but I want to get through everyone's scores and duds because sometimes we get to the end and we forget to get to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is you, right?
Oh, yeah, that's me. Yeah, so that is a retail arbitrage from Hot Topic, and I paid $25 for it and threw it up, and it sold in about a week and a half. So really nice lounge fly. Very really cute purse, brand new. No problems. It went well.
So CJ, do you normally source at Hot Topic? Because that's not really your demographic.
No, it's not my demographic, but I think it's a cool store, you know. And I have my nieces and nephews are about that age, so I think it's a cool place.
Anybody else in the panel source at Hot Topic?
Mm-hmm. No.
Anybody else going to go look now?
I mean,
I had no clue.
I would, yeah.
They sold Loungefly Disney stuff at Hot Topic. I'm just blown away.
Yeah. Yep. This is the body issue of ESPN, and all this is WNBA star. So I got this for about $15, and it took about 2 months to sell, but it did really well, and it's autographed. So yeah, it's a really nice nice item.
Photo.
Yeah. I'm stuttering already, right?
You purchased it autographed, right?
Yeah.
Dang, I so had a picture of you standing by like the back door, like, can you sign this?
Yeah, it's so pretty super. Yeah, that was a good one. This was something I've had for a while, and it's a dream team, the USA Barcelona World Cup Championship pin set. So I had a little. I got it through another person. And I finally decided just to let it go. So it didn't take long, about 5 weeks, and it went for that. So it was a great piece.
That's a cool piece.
Yeah. So this, I went to Africa about a year and a half ago on a little trip, and it was amazing. But anyway, this is an original. As you can see, vintage to see. So I had that, and I it was there. It was probably $25-$30. So it wasn't a big flip, but it was really I think a really neat piece. So it went good. The buyer loved it, just loved it.
Now I don't mean to laugh at duds because we all have them, but you're like your note said times 20.
Yeah. So this was just I couldn't learn, right? So this was just the worst buy for me, and I bought it from a wholesaler. So I thought they would do really well, and they didn't do really well. I had them for almost a year, and I finally just let them go at cost. I'm sure all the other people that were selling these on eBay didn't appreciate my sell, but I had to just dump them. They weren't doing anything for me.
Do you have any left?
No.
Damn, I would have bought one. I would have put one up.
Yeah.
All right, so Sabrina, who's a good friend of mine, she has never heard of Hot Topic, so she has learned of Hot Topic tonight.
Yeah. Hot Topic is a super cool store.
Yeah, I've been in a mall in forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so Matt and Aaron sent me 2 pictures, and I wanted to put both in because of, I'm like, oh, the doggies, and then, oh, they're at a tiki bar. Like, how could I decide?
Yeah.
You guys gave me a Sophie's Choice. I couldn't pick.
I love that. Well, thanks.
So yeah, the Tiki Bar is Latitude 29 down in New Orleans, owned by Beach Bum Berry, the man who kind of rediscovered all the cocktail recipes for lost cocktails for tiki bars back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
So there's your nerd tiki history, everybody.
And I don't drink, and that was a fantastic virgin cocktail. It was amazing. So
All right, so when you come to Vegas, I'm not saying if, I'm saying when, Mike at Frankie's makes amazing virgin cocktails also.
Right.
Oh,
nice.
cool.
They're hard to come by.
Nice.
Any friend that does not drink for whatever reason, when they join us at Frankie's, Mike asks for some questions, some flavor profiles, and he whips up some drinks that people are like, God, this is amazing.
Oh man, that's awesome.
But speaking of tiki mugs, yay!
All right. So I have a twin brother who is also an eBayer and gay. He's a part of the Thrifting Board, and I was jealous that he always gets to go to Sippin' Santa from Beach Bum Berry, speaking of. And I finally realized I had been in Dallas because I checked earlier. But right when I started Christmas break, I decided to pop in. I really wanted the large hot tub volcano bowl things. But of course, they were sold out. And I went a little crazy. I bought 4 of these because I remember what you said about, drinking for free and how tiki mugs sell. And my brother had done it too. And I listed them. Well, he listed them. Matthew is the lister. And they sold within, all 4 of them sold for $77 within a week. So
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. Even the ones that had little tiny dings, I guess they didn't mind. So
Threw in the swizzle, threw in the shark. And, yeah, it was a nice little package for everyone.
Someone's been paying attention.
Yeah.
Damn.
What? More tiki cups? What?
yes. So what do you do after teaching all day? You go to the liquor store. And that's what I did before Christmas to get like Christmas gifts. And I found this Patron gift set that had 2 tiki mugs as like a little tiki package deal. And so I got 3 of them. So, I mean, that was not cheap, but, I looked them up ahead of time and they were selling. So we listed 2 sets of 2 and they both sold within a week as well. So I was very happy. Basically got the Patron for free. Almost. So, yeah.
Gotta love that.
Cool.
But not everything is tiki, because this don't look tiki to me.
I mean, it could be.
So I was at St. Vincent's, one of my favorite thrift stores, and this was on the go out rack, and I recognized that it was Red Wing Pottery by the Maker's Mark. And I looked it up right then and there, and this is a blank one. What it is a bean pot that stores would advertise at the bottom. And they can sell for crazy money. One sold recently for $300. And like depending on which store is advertising and how bad somebody wants it. So they're all over sold. But I haven't seen very many blank ones. So I was really happy to pay $2 for this and sell it for $80.
Plus shipping.
Basically the second day it was listed. So
Wow.
Be on the lookout for that. These I got at a warehouse, just in a box. I love collecting Floyd, and I just picked them up for myself, and I just decided to list them, and they sold
Within 2 days.
within 2 days for that price. So I was happy to move them out of there. So
Pollyanna had the best comment. The bean pot was Amish tiki.
Amish tiki. There you go. See? Awesome.
All right, so you guys said, wait a minute, because you guys said you didn't have any duds because you're new at this.
We did, yeah.
All right, I like it.
Our theory is we're like 6-7 months into full-time resale. And so like everything isn't a dud to us. Everything's like a lesson. So give us, ask us again in 6 months, and I'm sure we'll have a list for you.
Although, I have a question. We sold a snow globe.
Snow globes suck. We hate them.
Do y'all have any tips on shipping snow globes? Do y'all do it?
Yes, pool noodles.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Cut them down the middle.
Pool noodles and bubble wrap.
Yep, and then cut them into smaller pieces. And because when you get them all around it, and then you kind of bubble wrap it tight, those noodles make it so tough for it to break. It really would have to be like run over with a bulldozer for it to break when you're using pool noodles.
Cool.
Thanks for the tip.
There you go. There's our done.
All right,
Sue,
Sue, I already picked this picture, obviously, but I just noticed you got a puffer fish on your shirt, which is very tiki.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Well, that's my last name. I don't know if you knew that.
We're right, but I was just like,
Yeah.
I didn't even notice the shirt. I noticed the great foliage in your backyard. What are you growing there?
That's a fig tree.
Oh wow! All right,
Yeah, it actually produces figs and everything. So
nice.
yes.
All right, let's look at your.
This looks like an album cover. I'm just saying.
Sue's figs.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, I buy a lot of surplus items, so I buy a lot of things in bulk, and I actually bought a load of stuff from a school one day, and it was a load of stuff for $25. And in that, there were 7 of these globes. I've sold 3 of them so far. I have 4 left to sell. They sell pretty quickly. I actually didn't think they were going to have any value at all when I was loading them. I was like, oh, they're hard to load, and I was not happy about them at all. But now I love them.
Now you're making money. You love them.
Yeah, that happens a lot with the things I buy. It seems like this is another one. This came with a load of stuff I bought. I think I paid $75 for the load of stuff, and this was like buried in a box somewhere. I didn't even know it was with the stuff I bought. So that was a really nice surprise for $145.99.
So when you said you didn't know it was in there, when you saw it, did you know what it was?
I had no idea what it was. I had to look it up, and luckily there's 2 different types of these lenses, and luckily that's the more expensive one. I actually bought another load of stuff today that I have the whole microfiche machine, unfortunately. I don't think I'll have so much luck selling that, but I was hoping it had this lens in it, and it doesn't, but I bought it for the other things in the lot.
Nice.
But a lot of times I get these surprises. This item I got from an older woman that I helped her clean her house out, and she can't get up the stairs anymore. So I brought all her things downstairs, and this was something she was basically going to throw in the garbage. And I had this exact vaporizer when I was a child, and I saw it was brand new and was quite shocked at how much money it sold for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that was a freebie, so that was even better. So.
And what? A Scantron machine?
Yeah, this was. I get a lot of stuff. This came with a bunch of VCRs and things that I bought. And I thought, oh, boat anchor. I didn't think this thing had any value at all. And we looked it up, and sure enough, they do sell. It's for scoring tests. And I think I sold that within a month of listing it. I was shocked. It was heavy and a weird shape, but for $299, I packed it up and sent it on its way. And now it's happily scoring tests. I forget where it even went to, but it's not in my house anymore.
I can't even fathom. I would look at that and go, "Oh, there's $300."
I really thought I was going to go to the trash.
Wow.
I mean, I was like, no way. Nobody's going to buy this thing, and I was blown away. That's why I love doing
this. Do they still use Scantron?
They do, yes. Somebody does. Okay, this is I don't do a lot of antique stuff. And my two duds are actually from the same place, and I don't even want to tell you how long I've had these in my house. They're that old. I've tried auctioning them. I've tried all kinds of price ranges. I think there's 5 watchers on this right now. Nobody's buying it. I don't know. They're about to go to an auction house or something.
All right, so Jet Girl 011. If you need these lamps, there you go.
I'll give you a deal. Make me an offer. Same thing here. I bought both of these items with a bunch of other really cool stuff from a friend of mine many years ago, and I don't really even know what this is. I think you put flowers in it or something. And I've seen others for, sell for about this price range. This thing, again, it doesn't matter what I do, it's not selling. So it's about to go to the, I don't know, home for unwanted items somewhere.
Again, that's Jet Girl 011 if you want.
Yes. Please, it needs to go.
All right, so David and Joshua, where is this picture taken?
This picture was actually in Iceland, which is
cool.
Nice.
Yeah. We were there for Gay Pride this past year, and I think it was actually a World Pride too. So it was super fun.
That's awesome.
Very, very cool. All right, this is cool as shit right here.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I'm gonna start off by not talking about this. We're in Minnesota, and we've had 2 odes to Red Wing Pottery, which is in Minnesota. So both for that. We saw both of those items, and we were like, "Oh, we see those all the time."
That's awesome.
We actually have the deer console bowl set. We have the matching candlesticks over on the shelf too.
Wow.
That is an amazing piece.
That little penguin
That's awesome.
was a $5 estate sale find. As soon as I saw it, I like South American lucite plastic, and it was one of those for the price, because I was like, all right, I know they'll sell for double, triple that. Well, I started looking them up, and pretty insane. I'm like, all right, so listed high and let it fly, and within I think 2 days, again, and that was the same thing with the owl. There was a Minnesota artist that he moved to Minnesota from Australia. Kind of Dago. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but you'll find his pieces in Minnesota, sign on the bottom, Daga or Dagaha, is D-A-G-A. But I saw it. I'm an owl freak. I have a big owl tattoo on my side. And I said, okay, that's really freaking cool. It's signed. We do a lot of studio pottery. I started researching. I'm like, oh, this is a pretty good little piece. So I threw it on eBay, buy it now, and somebody made an offer that, within a couple of days, I was like, that was way more than I was hoping to get out of it. So it was good, good little score.
Awesome.
Well, that's beyond fancy.
So I had a family antique shop growing up, and this was back in the day when that type of stuff was, was selling for stupid amounts of money. Well, Josh is not a huge fan of that type of stuff.
Look at it.
It's not sexy to us, at least. It's not mid-century modern. And it was one of those, I saw it, I flipped it over. It was at marked Wedgwood, and I did a quick Google search because I know Flow Blue back in the days. And it was one of those, the Wedgwood Flow Blue still held its value. And it was one of those, we do most of our stuff buy it now. There's a lot of stuff in stores on our eBay page, so we try to match the prices, keep it comparable. Occasionally we'll find pieces like this where we're like, we've got to do an auction on it. And I just listed it kind of low to see where it'd go. And that was a very pleasant surprise for, I think it was less than a Starbucks.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That piece did cause a little bit of a fight because he brought that back to our house, and I was like, that is not going anywhere near. Not even like, probably a couple days later, and he sold it, and I saw the price, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Because I think it was like also cracked too. So it's like
chipped in
not in
spots.
good condition. So yeah, real interesting.
There was an unshipped one, just a picture that sold for like $700. So it's like, all right, like we'll throw it on there and see what it does, and if it needs to be donated back to the thrift store, maybe some lesson learned.
And what's this funky little last piece here?
So it's actually not little. It's 2 foot by 2 foot, and that was the interesting thing when we were researching it. The artist was known to do small pieces, like 6 by 6, 8 by 8. I think the biggest we found was like a 12 by 12. Well, researching the artist, we're like, I can't find anything like this. It's a piece of wall art. And we just threw a random price on it because, well, that's what we do if we can't figure it out. We're like, his prices are pretty high, so we just threw a price on it. It was up there on eBay for a month, maybe-ish. We had it in the shop. We had people look at it in the shop. We had people look at it, watchers on eBay. Well, finally, somebody messages me and makes an offer on it. And while I'm waiting to make a decision on, do I accept that offer? Somebody came in and
That is amazing. Very amazing. All right, so let's switch gears here. Oop, I like it. Well, let's see. Let's go. Oh, much better. Yeah, everybody. Oh, I want to share. Hang on. I want to show something real quick. I bought a shirt specifically for this show.
Nice.
Nice.
And then when I said too close, I'm like, oh, no one saw my dang shirt. All right, so back to everybody else.
So CJ, do you have a job outside of reselling, or
No, I'm
is this
retired.
reselling?
I'm retired now, so it's just reselling.
What did you do before?
I was a law enforcement officer and for about 27 years. And so I retired and I thought, well, I should do something. I went into the private sector for a while and that was crazy. So I said, I bought some things on eBay, so I thought this can't be too hard. So I just started selling. And it's harder than you think, patience, which I don't have. So yeah.
I can relate.
Not having patience and being a cop didn't go over real well. But that was in the old days before a lot of you kids were alive, right? So
you didn't do any reselling until after you retired?
Right. Yeah. Well, I had actually, I actually had a brick and mortar for a while, but I'm telling you, wages just eat you alive. So I had to get rid of that. That was about for 2 years. And then I went back into the private sector and left again. And then I decided, well, I'm just going to sell on eBay. Sell online. It can't be that hard, but it's hard, I think. Trying to guess what's going to sell, right? I love it. It's so much fun. My son said, well, gee, this is a nice hobby. And I went, hobby? I work every day. No more money for you from eBay.
What about you, Sue? What do you do outside of eBay? Resale?
I own some real estate, so I'm a landlord, and I watch over a commercial building for a gentleman in Florida. So basically,
what does that mean?
Well, it's not very glamorous. It's a vacant building right now, and so I have to deal with homeless people a lot, and I show the property, and I have to take care of things when they break windows and things like that. So yeah, I just kind of babysit. I babysit an empty building. Yes.
Give me a shout out. I'll go with you next time.
All right. Awesome.
Some homeless.
Yeah, it's interesting sometimes. Very interesting. Yeah.
You're in the same city, right?
Yeah.
Are you in Phoenix?
I'm in Phoenix. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I am too. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Team up.
You're both in Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Phoenix is very large, so I'm assuming
Phoenix
it's really big. Yeah.
Yeah. It's big. So
What about you guys, Matt and Aaron? Do you do anything outside of eBay, or are you just eBayers?
I'm a full-time elementary music teacher, so yeah, that's what I do. I took off today, so.
Wait, you took off today? We weren't during the day.
I know. Well, it's a quick story. Someone ran into our fence 3 months ago, and they haven't been able to contact the guy, so I had to go to the Dallas Police Department to get the police report. And today when I got home, it turns out the guy who ran into my fence was having an estate sale, and it's on my street. So we went to the estate sale of the guy who ran into our fence. So it was
kind of creepy. We figured out why they couldn't get the police report.
Yeah, they couldn't get a hold of him, so I don't know.
So we got some stuff from his house.
Wow, there's a corner we turn around and see us coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. But yeah. Surprise! And yeah, now I'm a full-time eBayer. So I've taken on. We've made our garage into the eBay business, and yeah, that's what I'm doing full time.
Cool.
And you were a dancer?
Yeah, I was in the performance sector. I was a dancer and a costume designer for a while. I danced for Disney, lived in Tokyo for a couple of years, and all that good stuff. And then your body gets old.
Were you in the? Were you on the opening team at Disney, at Tokyo Disney?
I was not. I worked at Tokyo Disney Sea, the second park, and I came in.
I got you.
Yeah, the second year they were open is when I went in. So it was. Awesome,
I have worked at Disney World.
Oh, cool!
So there was like, you can go work at Tokyo Disney, but it'll just cost you a couple dollars. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it was really cool because I got to kind of see the explosion of Duffy.
Oh wow!
So when Duffy's
yeah.
here, I was like, I already know about that guy. What are you talking about? Yeah, so there you go.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you go by Dave or David?
Either or.
That's not a good answer. All right. Well, what about you guys?
He goes by Josh or Joshua. Either or. We're pretty laid back folks.
And do you guys work outside? You guys just have the brick and mortar?
I do the shop full time, and you can tell his story a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of have a crazy path. I actually was in branding and marketing before I decided to make a career change, and I now work as an emergency room nurse practitioner. So I have like opposite ends of the spectrum, and then I help do the branding marketing for our shop. And then when I'm not doing that, I come hang out in the store. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know it's very time consuming, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it that you don't realize before you actually have a brick and mortar and then an online presence. And it's a pretty crazy gig. But once you have it all worked out, it becomes fun again. So.
Or you could be like Jason and have 37 shows.
Yeah, that too. So how long's the store been open?
So we were actually in Cincinnati for about 18 months, and then decided to move back closer to my family once I graduated and got a full-time position in Minnesota. So we kind of just picked everything up and moved to Minneapolis about 5 months ago. So it was actually really nice because we have everything in the shop available online. And then we do the eBay and Etsy as well. So we actually continued to sell things, like globally while we were transporting everything. It took us about a month to transition from Cincinnati to Minneapolis, but we've retained quite a few of our Cincinnati people if you're out there. But it's been pretty fun.
Bless our Cincinnati customer base that has continued to support us, and bless USPS for special zone shipping because it's made really easy to ship it back to Cincinnati. So when we moved up here, I'm like, it's going to be a pain. It's going to cost a lot of money because shipping stuff you calculate it in your head. Well, we shipped to Cincinnati. I'm like, oh, this is way cheaper than I ever imagined it would be. Like huge, 36 by 36 box, and it's like way cheap. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So like as soon as kind of word got out back there, people were like, ooh, I can actually buy this and get it there. So it's been awesome in all accounts.
Nice. All right. So we always ask questions of everybody, and we ask for like something unique about them. And so the variety here is pretty awesome. All right. So CJ, you were in a country band for 10 years. What'd you play?
Drums and guitar.
And was it just like a local type band, or were you famous?
No, we weren't. I would not be selling on eBay, probably, right? No, we were a local, just a local band. Yeah, we went to high school together and just kind of played around, and it was a lot of fun.
Do you still play at all?
I still have my drums and guitar, and I plunk at it a little bit, but no, I haven't. Not really. It's still fun to play with it, but not play.
Gotcha. All right, Sue, your fun fact is crazy. Your great-grandfather invented the soda fountain.
Yes, he did. Well, he's one of a few, but yes. And yeah, it's pretty cool. There's actually a really cool building in Boston where the original factory was, and it's got this big, gorgeous copper sign that says Puffer's Building on it. And someday I will buy that building back, and it'll belong to our family again.
Love that.
That's
a great
awesome.
goal.
And so, David and Joshua, you guys kind of met antiquing, right?
Yeah, so
That was your early dates before you guys became a couple, right?
family antique shop growing up. We closed our shop in the early 2000s. I never thought I'd be doing it again, let alone like quit my comfy corporate America gig that I had. In walks this guy into my life. I walked in at his house, and kind of the rest was history.
Yeah, he walked in and started flipping all my stuff over, and I was like, what the hell are you doing?
What's the mark on the bottom of this?
Yeah, and I had no idea what that was even. And he's like, you have a lot of really good stuff. And you're like throwing Rookwood pottery, and he's like, no, this is like $400 piece of pottery. And I was like, what?
And so, show of hands, who's walked into a friend's house and picked something up and looked at the bottom of it? Yeah, that'd be pretty much everybody. And I love what Matt and Aaron wrote. What's the coolest thing you've sold online is one of the questions we asked our guests to maybe get a jumping off point. We love the sales that came from Jason's lesson on drinking for free by selling tiki mugs. Well done. Well done.
This guy. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world. Like, knock out. I'll take them all.
So one thing I want to do with every panel is maybe ask, because you all come from a similar demographic, is there anything that us not in the demographic wouldn't know to purchase? Now, Melissa told me something the other day that I'm like, well, that's freaking genius. And I mean, it seems so simple, but I never thought of it. So why don't you share what you do, Melissa?
Okay, so as some of you might have experienced, a lot of times you'll go and you'll see like his and hers items, or I'm with her, I'm with him, but you never really find his and his or hers and hers. So what I do is I'll take and look, I brought props, a his and hers bowl set, and now look at this. I buy two of them, and it's now a his and his set and a hers and hers set, which I have available on my Poshmark if you want to go there. Just let me know. But I, like that, especially when we were getting married. I mean, even just finding like a wedding topper, you had to go to like a special website, or you had to get like a generic topper because it's not like you can just go to the store and get lady and lady or man and man. So I tried to like split things like that so that it, like, if it's splittable, I try to make it so for anybody.
Yeah, that's really smart.
And it's so simple, but yet, like there's some things I've done in my life of online selling that 3 years in, I had a light bulb moment. I'm like, why am I done it this way? Like, why did it take 3 years? I never would have thought to put his and hers and hers together. Like when you see the shirts for Disney and stuff like that, I'm like, genius idea. So simple, yet very smart. I love it.
However, it doesn't work with some of them because like a lot of the Disney shirts will be a point and it'll say, I'm with her, I'm with him. You can't get, I'm with her, I'm with her. Who are you with?
All right, so that's where print on demand shirts could come in handy. If those of you who do that Amazon merch, heck yeah, I like that idea. Anyone else on the panel have anything to share that those of us who are straight, for lack of a better term, might not know about?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking to kind of piggyback on what Melissa said. Don't be afraid to tag things with, gay wedding, or use the word gay in keywords, because it's not slang. We're past that now. It's our identity, I think a lot of people are afraid to use that word as a key term. This isn't underwear, or this isn't, whatever. So don't be afraid to do that, for weddings or anything like that. But our other thing is we do a lot of toys, a lot of plush, action figures, things like that. Don't be afraid to pick up the action figures you don't recognize, because Marvel and DC have been really good about being inclusive with LGBTQ characters. So there might be something that's not a Spider-Man or a Superman that you don't recognize. Pick it up, Google it, and you might be surprised what you find with an LGBT character that's going to go for a lot. So that's it. That's my tip.
Awesome.
So if I might add, if like people have an online presence or even a brick and mortar store, explaining your support for our community is such a huge thing. We kind of zone ourselves in Minneapolis, and we did in Cincinnati, as a safe space. And we kind of push the envelope a little bit, and use humor and some stereotypes in order to make everybody feel comfortable. So we've learned quite a bit that even when we have a presence at Pride, we try to have a little bit of humor. So we have like vintage cat statues and like some vintage bear pieces, that are like pottery or what have you. And they seem to be best sellers, which is crazy. We kind of have like vintage pussy and then vintage bear. We'll play on words, but really the idea that there are like subgroups within the gay culture that are stereotypical, but they're really true. Like the amount of cat things that we sling to lesbians is like
insane.
That's funny.
Really the connections that come from those sales really like everything forward and makes it fun too. So
I think within the gay community, the relationships are huge, and we all strive to support each other. So letting basically the community know that you have a business, whether it's brick and mortar, online, selling multi-channel, like letting them know what you're doing, because they'll want to be engaged and help and support. But then you can, do the reverse and use your business to support other LGBTQ businesses or groups or areas.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know that may be watching, they mentioned bears. Just imagine me if I was gay, because I'm pretty much a bear. I'm a big dude. I'm hairy, and I get hit on quite often by bears, and it does not bother me one bit. I'm always very appreciative. And look, I don't care if someone finds me attractive. I think that's a compliment, because I don't think this is all that pretty, but my wife does. So yay. But the first time I got hit on by a bear, we were in Boston for a gay pride. My wife and I have been together like a year or so, and she had worked at this hotel. And so she met one of her old colleagues at the hotel, and they were just catching up. And I was watching baseball behind the bar, and the bartender said something to me, and I didn't quite hear him. I go, what? He goes, "You have the prettiest eyes I've ever seen." And he was so Harvey Firestein. And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." So him and I talked for quite a while, and my wife didn't hear the conversation at all. So as we're leaving, he said, "Hey," and she turned, and he goes, "Hold on to him. He's a keeper." So one thing in the gay men community that you might not know of, and not every gay man knows about it, is Tom of Finland. So I want to show one of my little tips and bolos. I did edit it for everybody. But Tom of Finland is this whole kind of it's mainly cartoon drawings, for lack of a better term. And then there's statues and clothing, the whole works. It's about big muscular men, hairy mustaches, a lot of leather. But I find the books quite often. I flip them. Like I said, there's statues and there is clothing. So anytime I find Tom of Finland stuff, I'm very excited because I know what it is. I know how to market it. It's a weird line on eBay. Sometimes you'll find it in the regular if you don't use words that would set off censors, and sometimes you find it in the adult section. So just be forewarned. Some of the stuff is pretty explicit, so it should be in the adult section. You can get away with it in the regular section. You'll get more eyes, but I'm not telling you to break any rules. I will never recommend breaking any rules, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So if you've not ever heard of Tom of Finland, write that down and keep your eyes open for it. And it's always funny when I find it. Of course, they just assume I'm gay because I'm buying Tom of Finland stuff, and they always want to tell me about what gay happenings are happening around that area. I'm like, oh, cool. What else is going on?
The intel. Yeah,
I get the intel. I don't even ask. Sue and CJ, you guys have anything specific?
WNBA stuff will sell real well.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. There's a huge following there.
And you guys have a team there, right?
Yep, the Phoenix Mercury. Yep. Yep. And a while back, I actually bought a surf store inventory, and it had a lot of kind of chunky jewelry and stuff, and that actually sold really well to a ton of my friends, actually. So kind of more androgynous type jewelry and bigger chunky watches, things like that.
Yeah.
Do pretty well.
One thing that dawned on me the other day, I had tended to shy away from smaller clothing for quite a while, men's clothing. And I do know some collectible things go to Japan. So Japan men tend to be on the smaller side than American men. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, I've always thought about men who like to wear ladies' clothes. So I'm always looking for bigger dresses and bigger shoes. And I realized that some women, and you don't even have to be gay, but some women like to wear men's clothes, and women typically are of smaller stature. So I'd start going back to all sizes because I'm like, I really don't care who buys it, but I know that there's people out there that it isn't what you'd assume the norm is, and I myself have been known to wear a dress from time to time. So when I need one, I need a very large dress. I'm a very so just keep those things in mind.
I primarily wear t-shirts.
What'd you say?
I primarily wear t-shirts. I mean, that's my entire wardrobe is pretty much t-shirts, and they're almost all men's t-shirts. Just it's comfortable.
Yeah, same here.
More comfortable.
Yeah, I wear a lot of men's clothes.
So Angela, one of the lifeguards in the Thrifting Board, says, are there any LGBTQ charities on eBay, and do any of you contribute via your listings? I'll take that as a quick no.
No, I don't.
I don't.
No.
You stumped the panel, Angela.
I donated to B. I donated to the B charity.
Is that what you said, bees?
Yeah, the bees. Save them.
We do a lot of
animal
here in Dallas.
So what I want to end every board meeting show with whoever the demographic is if you want to share any of your personal story, we'd love to hear it. Because I think that no matter what people are tuning in for, like next month, we're going to do single moms. And so I think anytime you can inspire others, I highly recommend inspiring others. There is no pressure, but if anybody wants to share their story, we'd love to hear it.
Anybody?
You guys heard a little bit of our story. We kind of, met and realized that we had, this mutual joy for thrifting and for, finding cool things. So, I mean, essentially what happened was, our store, our brand kind of grew from this, we would go out and we'd go thrifting. We would go to antique stores and we would go to antique shops and we would go to estate sales and stuff like that. And, one day I was like, do you want to have booth in an antique mall. And he was like, really? Are you serious? I would love to do that. So we did that, and it just kind of like, it kind of just like snowballed into this, we were in a couple different malls, and then we were in flea markets that were held by the city. And then people were like, where's your storefront? So really what we did was we just made a pact to each other and said, we'll do this and we'll grow with it. And the only thing we want to make sure we do is make sure we're still having fun with it. So, kind of the biggest thing for us is the second that it becomes not fun anymore, it's not going to be a thing. And that's really, really, really driven our business, because people come in and they can feel how fun it is for us. We really just buy and resell things that we like, other than that Flow Blue thing. But we just buy and resell things that we like. And it's kind of gotten us to where we're at right now. So
Cool.
One thing that tickled me, I guess would be a good term today, was, I had to make that post that, I won't allow anyone giving anyone grief for whatever they do or believe in. And the amount of parents that came out today to say, hey, thanks, Jay. Not that I'm looking for the pat on the back, but it was great to see so many parents say, hey, I have a transgender child, I have a gay child, and I am so happy to see that you guys are all inclusive here. So, so great to see, because there was a time when that wasn't the case always. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty that isn't, but it's a lot easier nowadays. I can imagine. I'm not gonna, I can't say that because I'm not part of that community, but I see how nice everybody was on that post today. It just made me feel good.
We stand on the shoulders of giants that came before us that kind of forged, I will definitely say that we have a much easier world than our gay ancestors did. That's a pretty damn fair statement. And I think that's, if we make the world a better place for each generation that follows us.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be married. I mean, seriously, like my wife and I have been together 10 years. We've only been married, is it 3 years. But I mean, we couldn't be married before then, and it makes a huge difference, just even that, like, it seems so inconsequential to so many people, but I mean, it's everything.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah, and just exposure from us, like as a panel, just being out there in the reselling world, like we do little handwritten cards to everything we sign, and I sign it, Matt and Aaron, and the two obvious boy names, and I'm sending it out to people that are living out in the sticks, and I don't know anything about them, and I'm just hoping that they don't come and find my address, but so
well, don't expose yourself.
So Sue, I think you have a fan or a friend in the chat. Christy Scott says, hello, Sue, you're looking great.
Oh, hi, Christy.
I was wondering, are we going to have a love connection in the middle of this show? And I was like, what?
A love connection.
No, she's actually kind of an adopted daughter from a past relationship of mine, actually, from many, many years ago. And she's, I raised her as a child, and now she's a beautiful young adult.
Well, Chrissy, thanks for stopping in. Christy, I can tell, has some amazing red hair, if that's her in her own picture there.
Yeah, that's her.
Red hair. I get jealous of those that still have hair. I do like being bald. Luckily, I have a nice round head, but man, I do miss the days of having hair.
I call this my wig.
Any last parting thoughts? And we'll just kind of go around here. We'll start with CJ in the corner there.
Hey, well, thanks a lot for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity, and eBay is a great place to learn a lot about yourself and a lot about selling. So I think it's awesome, and it's always great to meet someone who other people in the community, because it's so quiet, sometimes. So great. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a solitary job, but with social media, YouTube and Facebook, at least we have colleagues that we can reach out to, even if it's just by words. We at least have friends now we can, bounce things off of.
Yep. Yeah, I have of course, by myself all day long, and I have a dog, and I think all my comments start with, "You're such a good girl." You know? People are like, "What?" You know, the grocery store, like, "You're such a good girl for packing that right." And they're like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, it was a weird day. My wife was off her procedure, and our doggy was cuddled up with her. And my assistant was out working, and I was prepping this show, and it was just one of the quietest days I've had in a while. And it seemed weird to me. Like I didn't really talk to anybody all day today. And I was like, so bizarre. I'm like, huh.
Yes.
You know, it is nice. Matt and Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, just thanks so much for having us. We have gotten started this year in the large part because of the Thrifting Board and because of all your inspiration and stuff like that. So it's awesome to be here, but also it's also to be in a panel of like-minded people in the same community. It's really cool. So thank you so much for that.
Yes.
You're looking great, Aaron.
Oh, I just saw that.
Yeah.
That's the twin.
Yeah, I figured. Dave and Josh?
So a huge thanks from us too. I mean, I think that a really important thing is that, you know, the LGBTQA, whatever other letters you want to add to that, the community really supports each other so wonderfully. But the best thing about, you know, our business is when we have straight allies that include us in really important conversations and fun conversations, right? So the exposure that, you know, that we get for our community and for us as a couple and for our shop is like absolutely incredible. And we just really like thank you for being so inclusive and being so outwardly supportive. It means a lot.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
And Sue was a little, she wasn't sure if she wanted to do it. She was a little on the shy side.
Yes, I'm very shy.
But I'm so glad you came on because you just hopped right in and it was great.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and supporting our community and just, you know, just having this community in general for knowledge and friendship and things like that. And yeah, it was fun. I was very nervous, but it, you know, hopefully I didn't flub up anywhere.
No, it was easy. We do have a question for Wild Things. Do you guys have a YouTube channel?
We don't, but maybe we should.
So if and when you want to start, let me know. Because now I've been doing this so long, I can get you off and going in the right direction. You can just skip all the mistakes I made early on.
We'd appreciate that.
Nice.
And Melissa, last parting words. Thank you again for being my co-host, and thank you for being the newest admin in the Thrifting Board.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks for being patient with me because I really need patience. Thank God my wife is super patient because I'm not. No, you know what though? Thank you for having this panel. I mean, it is like they said, it's really important to have support. Like even in like resale, my wife doesn't do the resale, but she's extremely supportive, and it makes all the difference from being able to do it and not being able to do it. And anybody who has, you know, a significant other who is super supportive of them and maybe they're not involved understands that. And it's the same with being an ally for us. Just having that support means so much. It makes life a lot easier. So I really appreciate it. I was talking to my wife today about how you wouldn't let this bigoted conversation happen in the Thrifting Board, and it makes it a very comfortable place to be, you know, for people who maybe, you know, we might get looked at for holding hands out and about or dirty looks or something like that. To be able to have a safe space is just nice.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's always been that way. There was no other way. There really wasn't. I mean, I was brought up in a household that we didn't have any discussions like this, good nor bad. It was just like, you know, people are people. It doesn't matter what's going on. So there was no other way around it. And man, to see that today, but it hammered home why we should have discussions and talks and panels because, you know, no one, for whatever reason. And that's why I put, you know, Muslim or Jew or old or young, or I should put fat or skinny, whatever. It don't really matter. So, you know, if you want to come talk about thrifting and eBay and Etsy and whatever else, that's what we're here for. So we all look at all the great bolos tonight. And someone asked, what are your store names? So I just realized we didn't make sure I shared everybody's. So tonight I will make a post of everyone's store name. So if you guys want to go shop with these 5 sellers here, well, 7 sellers, you guys can. So we'll get a post up tonight. So I want to thank everybody. This exceeded my wildest expectations on how fun it would be to hang out with a group. And I can't wait to do the next one next month. So if you have an idea, hit me or Debbie up. If you're part of a demographic, you're like, I would like to have a whole chat with, other people that have 23 cats in their house. Sure, whatever. We'll look at any kind of demographic, and we're happy to do it because this was a lot of fun. Not that I didn't think it was going to be, but I was just texting Debbie and my wife. I'm like, oh my God, this was so awesome, so much fun. And so it's so fun to see sellers in the different parts of the country and what they're selling. And we got guys who got the store, and Sue who's buying out closeouts of schools. I mean, so different. And it opens our eyes, no matter who you are, to just different good selling techniques. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Do us a favor. Give us a like down below. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. And if you enjoyed the show, post a link on your social media channels later and tell everybody what a great, fun show this was and how much you learned. So spread the word, please.
Awesome.
So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. And if you didn't get enough of me, you've got 17 more chances in the next 4 days. I decided to do 17 things this weekend. Those of you the Secret Beach, I'll see you for the first store review tomorrow night. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.